Hey guys, my name is Zambu Sakala, and today we're looking at addiction. So, addiction is generally not a mental health disorder, but addiction can lead to mental health disorders such as depression. Now, firstly, I'd like to talk more about addiction, to define addiction. So, addiction is a disease, basically. People don't realize that, but it's a disease in which a person finds themselves unable to stop using a substance or engaging in a behavior. So people can't control it. They're unable to stop doing what they're doing, and very few people realize that. So if you're addicted to alcohol or weed or porn or whatever it is, it's so hard to quit, and people overlook that aspect of it. But addiction leads to mental health issues like depression, and the reason it does that is because when you're addicted to something, and when you're trying so hard to quit that addiction, sometimes sometimes you find yourself going back. So sometimes you find yourself drinking again. Sometimes you find yourself smoking again. Sometimes you find yourself watching porn again. And when that happens, it brings so much guilt, and it brings a low self-worth. And because of that, that low self-worth might in turn lead to depression, which is a mental health disorder. Okay, so I won't pretend as if just by you listening to this audio, or you listening to watching this video, you automatically be fine. That's not the way it works. But this is a step towards the right direction, because you know there's something wrong and you want to change. So let me share a few tips or a few steps that have helped me uh, overcome my addiction. The first step that I think is very important is identifying your triggers. So what I mean by this is finding what leads to you indulging, what leads to you drinking, what leads to you smoking. They're basically a trigger. And when you do find these things, it becomes easier for you to avoid doing that. Now, a lot of people would tell you, why do you keep drinking? Why do you keep smoking? And all that. But very few people will come to you and ask you, what happened? What triggered this? So it's very important that you identify your trigger. I know for people that drink, it might be the scent of alcohol, or passing by their favorite chill spot. I know people that watch porn might be a pop-up, an ad pop-up, and you find yourself indulging. So it's very important that you block these triggers. Another tip that has helped me, or that I found to be very useful, is finding someone to talk to. I know it sounds good. I know it sounds good. Find someone to talk to, basically an accountability partner. Someone you can tell, look, bro, if I do this and that, do this. Someone you can go to and say, look, I'm going through this and that right now, help me. And it shouldn't be someone who judges you. So I feel like the ideal accountability partner is someone who has gone through what you've gone through. Yeah. And the other step is consistency. And just because I've said the other step is consistency, it doesn't mean that when you do break that consistency, you'll never get rid of your addiction. No, don't be too hard on yourself. You're human too. You've got feelings too. But what I need you to understand is that eventually you'll be fine. So be consistent with your plans. And when you do find yourself sticking back or going back to your addictions, don't be too hard on yourself. Try again. And I know it sounds funny, but it has helped me. And I hope it helps you too.